Long before Medusa became one of the most feared creatures in Greek mythology, she was not a monster at all. According to ancient legends, she was once a beautiful young woman admired throughout Greece for her extraordinary beauty. Travelers spoke about her radiant eyes and long golden hair, and many believed no mortal woman could rival her appearance. But beauty often attracts both admiration and tragedy. Medusa devoted her life to Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. She served faithfully in Athena's temple, living according to strict traditions and honoring the goddess with all her heart. For many years, her life was peaceful. But destiny had other plans. Poseidon, the mighty god of the sea, became fascinated by Medusa. Ancient stories disagree about what happened next. Some say she accepted his affection, while others tell a much darker tale. Regardless of the truth, Athena's anger fell upon Medusa. Instead of punishing Poseidon, Athena cursed the young woman herself. Her beautiful hair transformed into living snakes. Her appearance became terrifying. Worst of all, anyone who looked directly into her eyes would instantly turn into stone. In a single moment, Medusa lost everything. Those who once admired her beauty now feared her existence. Unable to remain among humans, Medusa fled far away from civilization. She eventually reached a lonely island, surrounded by endless waves and sharp cliffs. There she lived in complete isolation. Travelers who accidentally arrived on the island never returned. Their stone statues slowly covered the land, frozen forever in expressions of fear. As years passed, stories about the snake-haired monster spread across Greece. Children were frightened with tales of Medusa. Warriors dreamed of defeating her and becoming legends. Kings promised wealth and glory to anyone brave enough to bring back her head. But none succeeded. Many heroes sailed to the island seeking fame, but courage alone was useless. One glance into Medusa's eyes was enough to end their lives. The island became a graveyard of stone, filled with statues that silently warned others to stay away. Yet behind the terrifying appearance remained the soul of the woman Medusa once was. Some legends say she never wanted to hurt anyone. Others believe she simply wished to be left alone. Cursed by the gods and abandoned by humanity, she spent countless years surrounded only by silence and sorrow. Far away, another story was beginning. A young boy named Perseus had been born under extraordinary circumstances. His grandfather, King Acrisius, had received a prophecy that one day his own grandson would bring about his death. Terrified by fate, the king locked his daughter Danae away, hoping to prevent the prophecy from becoming reality. But fate cannot be stopped so easily. Zeus himself visited Danae in the form of golden light, and from their union, Perseus was born. Fearing the prophecy even more, King Acrisius placed Danae and her infant son inside a wooden chest and cast them into the sea. Miraculously, they survived. The waves carried them to the island of Seriphos, where a humble fisherman rescued them. Perseus grew into a strong and honorable young man, unaware that destiny itself had already chosen him for a task no ordinary man could survive. And somewhere beyond the sea, on an island covered with stone statues, Medusa remained alone, unaware that the threads of fate were slowly bringing their lives together. Years later, Perseus attracted the attention of King Polydectes, ruler of Seriphos. The king desired Danae and wanted Perseus out of the way. Pretending to organize a grand celebration, Polydectes demanded gifts from everyone. When Perseus proudly declared that he could bring any gift the king desired, Polydectes asked for something impossible. He wanted the head of Medusa. Most believed the mission was a death sentence, but the gods themselves took interest in Perseus. Athena offered him wisdom and a polished shield that reflected like a mirror. Hermes gave him a curved sword capable of cutting through anything. Other magical gifts allowed him to fly and remain unseen. Using these gifts, Perseus traveled across dangerous lands and eventually reached the island where Medusa lived with her immortal sisters. Instead of looking directly at the monster, Perseus watched her reflection in Athena's shield. As Medusa slept beneath the moonlight, surrounded by stone statues and endless silence, Perseus approached carefully. In one swift motion, he struck with Hermes' sword. Medusa's head was severed, but something incredible happened. From her blood emerged two beings. One was Chrysaor, and the other was Pegasus, the magnificent winged horse who would later become one of the most famous creatures in mythology. Medusa's immortal sisters awoke and screamed with rage, but Perseus escaped using the gifts of the gods. Carrying Medusa's head inside a magical pouch, he began his journey home. Even after death, Medusa's power remained. Her eyes could still turn living creatures into stone. Perseus used this terrible power several times. He rescued Princess Andromeda from a sea monster, and later defeated King Polydectes himself, turning the cruel ruler into stone forever. Eventually, Perseus returned Medusa's head to Athena. The goddess placed it upon her shield, known as the Aegis, where its terrifying power would forever protect Olympus. Centuries passed, but Medusa's story never disappeared. To some, she remained a monster defeated by a hero. To others, she became a tragic figure, a victim of divine cruelty who lost everything because of forces beyond her control. Even today, thousands of years later, Medusa remains one of the most fascinating figures in mythology. Her image appears in books, movies, art, and legends around the world. And perhaps that is why her story has survived for so long. Because beneath the snakes and the curse, Medusa was once human. And sometimes the saddest monsters are not born. They are made.